Episode. So I'm Monwara, and on Saturday mornings we kick off at 10 o'clock talking about leadership. So our conversation is all around leadership and the power of connections and so much else that comes into leadership. So if you're joining us now, welcome. I am Monwara Ali. I'm a leadership consultant and coach. I'm also CEO of a charity with a background in fundraising and charity work. So I'm extremely passionate about leadership and equity, diversity, and inclusion in the area of charities and fundraising. So over to you, my lovely. Lorlett and I are here every Saturday morning, 10 o'clock. And today we're going to have a lovely guest. Lorlett, over to you.
Oh, good morning, everyone. Such a pleasure to be here. And it's always this, I look forward to this show every Saturday morning. My name is Lorlett Hudson. I'm the CEO of One Hand Car Clap. And One Hand Car Clap is about leadership development. That's why Monwara and we connected because we have that in common around leadership. What I do, I really help people to make their idea become a reality. Some of us have so many ideas, but how do we make it become a reality? So I put structures and systems in place and enabling people to, whether it's a business, whatever idea is, just help them to take it to its next level. And so, yeah, Monora, and I decided a few months ago to do this live show every Saturday. And so far, it's been amazing. The people from all over globally speaking about connection and the importance of it. And when we look at connection as a leader, that's one of the great skills that we need. How do we connect with people? How do we connect with our environment? How do we connect with what's happening around us? And it's really important, that thing around the power of connection. Over to you, Manwara.
Thanks, Lorlett. And such an important point you made around the leadership skill. We do have someone joining us, Christiana. Hi, Christiana. And you can catch this afterwards as well on my YouTube channel as well as on the LinkedIn profile. But that point you made about connections, Lorlett, I'm learning from LinkedIn that it's a long journey. The results of a connection doesn't come straight away. So we connected how long ago?
A couple of years ago.
Yeah, yeah. And there are people I knew from 10 years ago that I have worked with over in the last three years. Connected 10 years ago, remembered them from 10 years ago. And they continue to be part of my, as one of my colleagues described, my black book. And this is, connections are powerful because you just never know when in your leadership role you will need to lean on others and they will need to lean on you because change making doesn't happen on your own. And that's very much on the forefront of my mind in every situation where I want to do something and I want to make it happen. I know I can't do it on my own.
Mm. And that is so true, Manwara, because, the what most people do is when they connect, they don't really look at the relationship aspects of it. It's around the opportunity. So you connect with somebody, and straight away you go right into what opportunity, what's in it for me, what can that person do for me. But to really be effective, you have to go right back down to the basics, which is build relationship with the person. What do you know about the person? What is it the person needs? And the way how society is structured and how people are being socialized is you look at somebody and the first thing you do is where's the opportunity for me? What can that person do for me? But it's the relationship that counts. And unfortunately, people don't spend a lot of time nurturing the relationship. I mean, I met you 2 years ago, and now we're actually doing this live show. It wasn't like we met and I was thinking, "Oh my goodness, what can I want?" It's over the period of time that we're having a conversation commenting on each other post on LinkedIn, and then you posted something, and I was really inspired by it. And then Dudley, who was our guest last week, said, "Oh, the power of connection." And then you and I have a conversation about, "Oh yeah, why don't we do a LinkedIn live around that?" And that's what we're doing. So it's a journey.
Absolutely. And I love the journey we're on.
That's right.
And I think that you're touching on something around sometimes people don't understand the opportunities. Like, do you want to say something about opportunities? Because I know, like, as leaders, we're very, very passionate about opening doors for others.
Mm, mm. And it's true, but you and I, when we meet people, based on my experience with you so far, is that you meet people and you see possibilities and you are offering them opportunities. And because they probably not confident within themselves, they start to weigh up the situation and think, oh my goodness, I can't do this. And because you see the potentials, and that also can be a downfall because we tend to see people potential than they actually see for themselves. And then you can be the person who is trying to force an outcome. Oh, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. But that person might not believe it. So that's another thing. When you connect with people, it's about understanding where they're at, because sometimes we can see somebody that look really confident and they can do this. There's an opportunity here for them, but they're not ready yet. And it's understanding that they're not ready, they're not in that space yet to actually take on that. And we can get really disappointed because we think, oh yeah, I mean, I'll give you this opportunity. Why don't you take it?
Hmm. Yeah, and it's so you just touched on something so relevant in terms of people not recognizing sometimes, and that makes it so much more harder. And we shouldn't be pushing because everybody has their time, and if the time isn't right, doesn't matter how much support you give somebody or you push and motivate them, they're just not ready.
Mm.
So yeah, Lorlett, we have a special guest today, and he, I think, has just arrived in the studio. I
Yeah, they come
invite
in.
any there?
Oh, am I live?
Yes, you
No,
are.
Yeah, yes, you're alive. You're alive.
but
Welcome,
I
welcome,
can't see.
welcome.
I can't see me though. I can't see me. Where are you at? Where am
Your
I?
screen's
Yes.
not open.
Okay. Yeah. 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 I've done something on the back, on the virtual background. I have no idea what I've done,
Wow.
but so literally, my virtual background is playing games on me.
They call him the guru of LinkedIn
All right.
Live.
So. Okay, virtual background is on. So where's my camera then?
Your camera should be in front. Your camera
You
should
just
be at the bottom. If you go back to your virtual screen
yeah. Okay, so virtual screen. All right,
and
so
just go back to normal.
okay. So get go to auto.
Oh,
Yeah.
lovely, lovely, lovely,
Yeah,
lovely, lovely,
I
lovely.
found myself.
Oh, he found himself. He lost himself and he found himself. Wow.
So good morning,
Eny,
ladies.
Eny is the guru, the grandfather of LinkedIn Live. He does
You're
something
far too
about,
kind. You're far too kind.
he look about, I think he does about 30 LinkedIn Live
All
every
right,
2 weeks.
calm down. All right, little let's. I'll pay you later for your kind word. You know,
You know,
about 20 years, younger than I am really, but it's fine. I feel about 25 to be fair. So
Annie, let's do a quick intro of you. So Lola and I've been going live for the last few weeks, and just a little bit. I just want to drum up a little bit of um, for you. So Annie, I hear, is the founder and team maker at Global Media, and I hear that you're on a mission to make everyone famous, so people know, like, and trust them to do business with them, and also the LinkedIn audio godfather. So there's a lot to learn about you today.
Well,
So
yeah.
the floor is all yours.
I said thank you so much for having me in your stream. I am the shy one. Deep down, I'm quite reserved. Alas, in the world of events, we have to show up. We have to be seen. We have to be heard. So every chance I get to talk, of course, and I will take, because I think as business owners, I think we have to always speak for represent our businesses. You never know who's looking. You never know who can benefit from what you do at any one day. So it's great to be here with you. Lorlett is one of my superstar friends. Lorlett's one of those who I truly look up to. In life, full stop. Because I think again in life, we're very good at talking, but doing is what life's all about. Really, doing is what shifts the needle. It's what shifts the dial. It's what makes the numbers change. And Lolette's one of those who definitely does what she says. And I said, I always love a question. And what next? 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 That's good. That's a great way to be. So it's a wonderful. So we'll do an audio room together, which is it's called the What If LinkedIn Audio Room. What if you could become great? What if you could achieve your dreams? What if you actually did what you said you would do? And change the world, So within that, we'll discuss many topics. Normally around the format, what does it take to be what you actually want to be? What does it take to actually achieve your dreams? So these are the things that keep me awake. These things that excite me. Of course, now part of the whole picture is building relationships with people who, we can help. The people who actually want to change the world. Because as we say, we can all change the world. We can all do something amazing. If only we knew. If only we knew that. If we actually accepted that and took the right steps. It's so simple. But as humans, we tend to complicate the whole picture ourselves, with our fears, with our doubts, with our behaviors. So let's now on a mission to really move people along from where they are to where they want to be and where they can be who they are. I can waffle all day. I'm better if you ask me questions, and I'll try and answer questions that are more useful, more relevant.
I ask you a question, Eny. What is connection? What does the power of connection? What does it mean for you? Because this is what inspired us to be doing this live show about the importance of connection. Because so many people feeling isolated these days. They don't have the support, they don't have the infrastructure, they've got ideas that they want to make, but they just don't have they believe they don't have the support. And I think the basics is the relationship. Who you surround yourself with is really important. If you want to get to anywhere, who you surround yourself with. And for me, that's the power of connection. When you connect with people, people will climb mountains for you, if you're connected with them. If you're not connected, then it's not going to happen. So what is your take on the power of connection?
Yeah, again, so I mean, it's one of those things that we need as humans, as business people, and just as I said, but as good people, as just people. Unless we connect with people, we're going nowhere too quickly. So and I know for a fact, no self-made millionaire has ever got there by themselves. No one ever has. It takes people. You have to, build those connections. So whether it's staff, whether it's friends, whether it's collaborators, even down to suppliers. Everyone needs friends, right? We need it's not the more people we have. I think it's about having the right people around you.
Mm.
I think the smart person will build those friends day by day. Of course, now we're all very good at thinking, I want customers, I need customers, I need customers. If that person's not a customer, I don't want to talk to them. Whereas in real life, I think that we have to learn to just make friends and then maybe try and see how we can support each other, how we can work together. I met a lady yesterday, and I said she's in America. She does Mary Kay. I'm like, what's Mary Kay? I've got a rough idea what it is, but I don't know what it is really. Again, I said I didn't know where that was going to go. At the end, we said, okay, let's talk again. She's gonna give me an introduction to one of her friends who's in the media, which which is close to what I'm doing as a business. Again, my business hasn't. It's not just about me doing what I want and paying everyone. So you have to find smart ways to run your business. Collaborations, networking, people that you come across who you can help, who can help you, is how you really form a business. I won't be anywhere near where I am today doing what I'm doing if I didn't make friends along the way.
Mm.
Every aspect of that. I mentioned working with you, Lorlett, that's a relationship. If we go back work, a year and a bit, you and I didn't even know each other at all, right? But the same in all my work. I can think of now for my services that I run, that I provide for people. They're mostly with other people. Everything. I do book writing for people. So we'll help people write the books. Again, I don't write the books. My business partner writes the books.
Mm.
That's someone I met about 10 years ago. The scope here. At the time we didn't have a clue who was going to go. Then suddenly it made sense to us to provide a service. She writes the books. I sell the books. I offer a guarantee bestseller scheme on Amazon, for example. That's not something else. Again, that's a software issue. It's a software solution. I didn't make the software. Someone else did.
Hmm.
So that's all about literally meeting these people along your journey and then thinking, right, now who can I help? Who can help me? How do we move forward together?
Mm.
Sometimes some people you meet that they're not going to help you ultimately, but that's fine.
That,
But if you don't actually get to know people, actually interact, engage with them, nothing happens.
mm.
And as I said, maybe the last time I said on the point is we have to move. We have to move beyond being superficial. There's many people I meet. Like I say, they're too quick to think customer or not customer, not customer. No thanks. Bye. That's ridiculous. Some people some of the people I like most in the world they're like family. They're just friends.
Mm.
People that you actually just have a good time with. There's a place for that too in business. Yeah.
And
I hope
also,
that's it.
and also remember, Eny, everybody has a friend, and
Mm,
it's understanding, that person might not be able to support you, but they've got a
mm.
friend who maybe be able to support, or you be able to support. I think,
Oh,
we live in a society that look, oh, we make judgments. When somebody
mm,
pointed out to me a couple of weeks back that, people make judgments about me, and I'm thinking, why would anyone want to make judgments about me? I'm quite happy minding my own business, getting on, and then she said, it's
mm,
not about you. People
mm.
make judgment based on their own perception of who they are. When you have a
Yeah.
business, the reality of it is that, when I started the business 24 years ago, it was about making money. Yes, I'm going to go
Mm,
out there and make money. But I say to people, the last thing you do in business is the money. It's all the work and the preparation that you do beforehand that actually put the money into your bank account. It's the relationship. It's
yeah.
all the things that you have to do. I mean, Monwara, for example, climbing a mountain in May. How did that came about, Monwara?
Wow.
You're a
Wow.
mountain climber.
Wow.
I'm
Really?
not actually. They will tell you, the last group that went with me, that I'm actually not super fit and I'm not a super mountain climber. However, one thing that I really do believe in is people grow through experiences.
Mm,
And Lorlett keeps describing me as an action taker. And I put my hand up and say, yes, I am an action taker. because you cannot make progress in life without action. However, being in the charity sector, one of the things that I've learned, like over the last 33 years, is that everybody in that sector is an activist,
Mm,
which means they never focus on their own personal development. So I
mm,
love to organize and build programs that enables people to grow. And it is a huge transformational process. But when I first started it, Lorlett, I started it as a fundraiser. And it wasn't until after the climb. So we went to Ben Nevis last year in September and we raised money and we built two homes for vulnerable women in Bangladesh.
you, well done, you. Truly, well done, you.
And the interesting thing is, whilst I was on that journey, I was observing and getting to know people. So every single interaction for me in my leadership journey
Mm,
is about getting to know people. Because how do you know? A LinkedIn user has just put this comment: are the right people always the best people for your situation, your goal, and your vision? You never know that until you
mm,
take a keen interest in other people.
mm.
So after the event, 2 days later, I published, and it's actually on my LinkedIn. I'll find it and I'll share it with you, Eny, at some point. But I shared about every single individual and what potential I saw in them, and they were completely thrown back. They were
Mhm.
like, "Oh my gosh!" But that's just me in my
Mm,
and that's why I'm passionate about leadership, because the two things that prevents most people from getting started, one is mindset, having the courage to get started, and two is the resources. And the resources are very much around the support network, as well
yeah,
as the tools that you need. And sometimes you may not have the tools or the budget, but somebody in your support network does.
for sure, for sure.
Mhm.
I mean, that is, yeah, I'm sure you transform lives. I can hear you transform lives.
So,
I say that because I used to run a charity, in my last role before I started the marketing business. And of course, you're definitely right. So that everyone is, we're so passionate about the work we're doing, the people we're helping. The last people we think about ourselves. And that's so that would the sector needs. No, but and everyone needs some of the space to step back a bit and think strategically.
Mm.
mhm.
How am I going to get to tomorrow? How am I going to get to next year? Not just keep fighting fires. So that it's great work you're doing. Yeah, it really is.
Thank you. And just to add to something that Lorlett says, um, it's that the elevator program, that's what I've called it, the elevator, the mountain climb. It's not the first challenge that I will be doing this year, and it's part of a bigger program. So my aim this year is to raise 50,000 as a minimum to build
Wow.
a learning institute in Bangladesh. But something that Lorlett says is that you don't, when it comes to the experience that you give, people buy into an experience that they've never had and they never will have anywhere else.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. I mean, as you're talking, I'm thinking climbing a mountain. Ben Nevis is one of our highest mountains. Have I climbed it? Of course not. Have I gone past it? Yes, of course I have. Right? And I remember seeing one of my friends the other day, Chris Lomas, and he runs a charity that goes into places like Ukraine with donations and equipment for people, right? And he was virtually crying how hard it was to climb Kilimanjaro. I know Ben Nevis is probably not as high as that, but for you, what was the process like to climb Ben Nevis?
So anything is always a big learner.
Hmm.
I am outwardly focused. So my what drives me is what forces me to start often is the end result.
Mm.
I always think about how is this going to change things and change people's lives, make the world a better place. So that's what drives me. And for those who didn't know, I didn't get to the top of Ben Nevis because I learned a lot about me on that journey. And this is going to be my question to both of you afterwards. Um, how many mountains have you climbed in your life? I haven't. Let me carry on with the rest of it though. Before,
Please,
just
please.
remember, in case I get distracted, that was the question. How many mountains would you say you've climbed? Now, I still remember years ago when I did something that I didn't know how to do,
Mm.
but the excitement and what that did to me and my mindset was me realizing I could do it. It's possible. So I like to push myself. I'm a baker. If I bake a cake that is wonderful to taste and looks amazing, the next cake I make, I want to make it even better. So Ben Nevis came after climbing Snowdon, which I did climb to the top. But what I learned on Ben Nevis was I suffer from high altitude.
Mm.
I didn't know that, but I had a headache. I was very dizzy. I only got as far as halfway. And Gula, who was on that journey with me, she stayed with me, and I learned something about her too. Because that woman could have gone to the top, but she didn't. She stayed with me, and then there was another woman who was on the journey who had first aid training, and she gave me glucose tablets. She gave me salted peanuts. Nothing was working, and I didn't realize why. But I was falling asleep in an open mountain, and Ben Nevis is rough. It's really rough. And that day we had wind of 40 miles. And because I'm a fundraiser, the goal wasn't for the entire group to smash our fundraising target. The goal for me was to get them to the top and back, or make sure people have the experience that they came for.
Mm.
And every single individual came out of there with a different experience. You know, Veronica was on that mountain climb. So yeah, so that the mountain climb for me was a realization that it's not just a fundraiser, it's not just an activity, it's an opportunity to transform people's lives.
Mm. Yeah, I mean that's truly amazing. I guess again, I think it's symptomatic of life as a whole. Maybe life in business as well.
Mm.
Every day is climbing the mountain, and every day really is our own Ben Nevis. I think that your approach and the way you look at it and the way you describe it, we can all learn from. It's not always about it's not about making £1 million every day because it's not going to happen, right? It really
Mm.
isn't. The important thing is to challenge yourself enough to say, I want to do this, to see
Mm,
the value of doing whatever that thing is.
mm,
Knowing that each thing is a step in the right direction, it moves you forward. I think as humans, we love our comfort zones. We love, you know, doing nothing new. We love being
Mm.
comfortable where we are. Who doesn't love that? But the reality is that nothing changes, right? Nothing moves. They say nothing grows in your comfort zone. Really, nothing grows at all. And as to answer your question, I guess as a business owner, I love, I love those Ben Nevises that we face every day. I love you know, that those moments, those cliff edge moments, literally. They what they now, as the word says, and as a cliff edge, you might fall, you might win. And they said that's when life becomes really exciting. That's when business becomes exciting. So like I said, no, I learn nothing when everything's going great.
Mm.
And I'm sure I get bored.
Same
I
here.
really
I
do.
get very
So
bored.
I love the damn, this could really, this could sink me. Yay! And it sounds like I'm a bit crazy, and I'm not crazy. So I think it's about bringing the best of you to everything that you do. I found the conversation around relationships. This is all part of the same picture, as you said. You know who your friends are. You know who you can depend on. You know who's there for you. You know who's people's characteristics. Without those cliff edge moments, you think you know who people are, but you don't really. And there's nothing more fulfilling than really knowing who you can call on and who can do what. When it chips it down, literally.
Mm.
In case anyone's wondering, I said I have cliff edge moments every day because maybe I partly create them. I said that my one this morning was finishing my client's book. Again, you think, oh, that's not that big. No, it's big because I could easily pay someone to do the job. Of course, I could,
Mm.
but no, I choose to learn how to do it myself. Not because I don't want to pay someone. I paid people to do it in the past, and very often people just let you down. Literally, and there's only so far I will go. As a business owner, I guess, I think we're in a privileged place where we can decide to do something that we need. That if it needs doing, just get on with it, do it, right? You got two choices: pay someone to do it, or do it yourself. So I think when I take on the "I'll do it myself" thing, obviously I'm literally risking everything. I'm saying to myself, right, I must learn how to do it properly very quickly. Again, like you said earlier, you do something, you learn something about yourself.
That's true.
It's
You get connected.
it's not the first
You
book
get
I've read,
connected to yourself.
you know. Go on, Lorlett, sorry.
I said you get connected to yourself. The power of connection is not
Mm,
just about other people. It's like Monwara on that mountain. She get connected to herself and realizes that height is something that she's not really, she's scared of it really. But
I
she still
have
pushed
been
herself.
all my life.
mm.
Yeah, she pushed
I
herself.
still am.
That's it. What they said, do it scared.
Mm,
Do it
mm,
scared. You're scared, but you're doing it. And you're going to Austria in May, to do another mountain. And that came from another connection. Do you want to talk about that, Monwara? How that came about?
Yeah, that's actually a really good point because we were just going into a different direction. But I do have a question I'm going to ask you later. So there's a connection that I connected on LinkedIn because I just liked her comments, and we are nothing. Catherine Reed, we don't like, she does international business expansion. My area of work is charities and fundraising, but we connected on this platform, and the more see her post, there's things that resonate, and I see similarities. And I think she does as well. Like, we both like gardening. And she once made a comment about Munwara, you like living. Because I often say in my post, the purpose of life is to live it. And many of us don't live it.
mm,
And so I always saw her picture. She lives in Austria, beautiful snowy mountainy areas, and such like inspirational like photos that she shares. And I started talking to her, and then we after we got connected, we had like we went live once as well when she was starting off her lives, and we kind of became friends. And I consider her a good friend, and I thought to myself, Austria has to be on my list of places to visit. I put it in my list, on my list. And then I contacted her, and I said, this is last year. I said, I'm thinking of doing this, and I want to come down to Austria. Can you recommend mountains? And then we met online, and that's how it became Austria. But the mountain, or the whole challenge thing, I see it as unblocking what stands in the way of lots of people who could potentially be leaders.
mm,
Courage is the one thing that most people really struggle with. And I can tell you, as someone who has done it a million times, I'm afraid of heights, and yet I still do it. And you are going to laugh because I did a 5K rough runner in 2019 to raise money for my current charity, Orphan Forest Community Hub, with my team. And I was the last one standing on the travelator. When I was a teenager, I always wanted to do something like that, but I never had the opportunity. So when I became a leader, I organized a team challenge and a fundraiser. That's how I'm living life, right?
Mhm.
Through my work, through my business
Mm.
approach. So when we were on that challenge and I was at the bottom of the travelator and I couldn't get up and I kept falling, the thing that always goes through my head when I'm in those situations is if I don't give up, the universe will give in. I
Mm.
have to keep trying. I have to keep trying. I had no energy in my knees. I kept getting up and I eventually, with a bit of help, got to the top of the travelator. But what was really embarrassing at the beginning was when my team said, "Oh, but she climbed Snowdon and she's shaking just to climb this little thing." Because I used to think if you face your fears, they go away. You overcome them. And
Mm.
what I learned, Lorlett, at that situation was that I'm still scared of heights, but I'm still going to do it because I'm not going to let it beat me.
Mm.
It never goes away, Monwara. It never goes away. You know that thing about imposter syndrome also. It never goes away. You know, every time I go on stage to speak, you know, to 200 people or even 8 or 9 people, doesn't matter about the size. It's the sheer
Mm.
fact that you're standing there and you think, oh, I wonder what people are saying. You know what? You know, there's something there about judgment, which is my own self. You know, judging myself. Who am I supposed to be doing this? It never goes away. Imposter syndrome never ever goes away, you know, but you do it anyway. You do what you need to do. As you said, you're scared of heights. And so it's not going to stop you climbing a mountain in Austria. And I'm sure you're going to climb another mountain and another mountain because
And
it's
yeah,
going through that process. It's going through that process. And
Mm.
how many of us, we have ideas, you know, we're passionate about things, but we just don't take the risk because the idea of, you know, even the sheer fact of reaching out to someone, picking the phone up and out to someone. I mean, that's how I met Eny. You know, I saw him on a LinkedIn Live and I just think he was so amazing. And I reached out to him and we had a conversation. And he said, well, why don't we do a LinkedIn Live? And I'm thinking, oh, I never considered that. And that's how we end up doing this LinkedIn Live for nearly a year now. You know, so yeah, I could have seen him and not um, having the courage to pick up the phone and, you know, I reach out to him. For some people, they might think, oh, that's easy. For some people, it's a challenging thing to even pick up the phone, even reach out to someone.
Mm.
Because, you know, it's like posting on LinkedIn. So many people are so scared to even post something because I've got clients who said, "Oh, well, what am I going to post? What people are going to say?" You know, and people are going to judge me. People are going to say things, but it's not people; it's us. You know, we stop ourselves. It's not anybody else. The story that we tell ourselves is what stops us. Oh, I'm not good enough. I'm not. I'm too old. And whatever story we have going on. It's never about anybody else. It's always us. You know, so be mindful of the story that you're telling yourself because that's what stops
Mm.
you.
excellent.
Mm.
Yeah.
You know, it's so true, Lorlett. You know, again, I think it's amazing when you realize that the feeling of fear and the feeling of excitement are the same thing.
Mm.
They're exactly the same. So you know, you might as well, you know, so rather than let that feeling stop you, that destroy what you know what you think you can do. You know, I say we know we have to learn to rise to it, live it, like you say, Monwara, and I actually, you know, just live it. You know, use that to fuel your actions rather than letting it stop us. You know,
Mm.
again, as you talk, I'm thinking every day I get up and you know maybe my Everest or no, my Ben Nevis really is my event. But you know, as marketing, if you done marketing, then I'm sure you'd understand what I'm trying to say. Every day, you know, is you know, it's excitement and jeopardy at the same time. You know, it could all go wrong, but you can win so big. You know, as a marketer, I don't give myself humongous targets. And everything starts with just one lead for my customer. That's what I just want one lead. That's why I get up every day. And I want one lead, one lead, one lead. Right? How am I going to get that lead? So something, of course, I might do ads. I might do, say, so I might, but the one thing I'll do is events. As Lorlett just mentioned, when you do any mountain you climb, anything that's new, anything that's different, it could work so well, it could go so badly. But hell, damn, isn't that good? Isn't that a great thing? Who's going to come to my event? No one. Lots of people. Lots of the right people. I don't know. But still, I think it takes the courage to stand there, and not, of course, I'm sure we've all seen people who no shows. They let the nerves get the better of them. And the people who literally, they just, oh, not today. What do you mean not today? Get on with it. You might win big today. Unless you play the game, unless you roll your dice, climb that mountain, you're not going to get anywhere. Nothing's going to move forward, right? So, so I think that embracing that sense of excitement is, it takes courage. But success takes courage. And again, as Lorlett said, it's not the world's rooting for you. Your friends are rooting for you. Your connections are rooting for you. They all want you to win. All of them want you to win. Your team are there for a reason, and they're on your side. It's whether we let ourselves grow, to realize the benefits of those relationships, or whether we shrink away and then we say, "Oh, nothing works, nothing changes. I can't do much." I'm a failure. Again, your point, Lola, it's about us. It's also within us, really. The first mountain we must climb is in our minds. You said it, Monwara, a couple of times. Mindset is what this is, what life's really all about. So I learned this in the last year or so. Before that, I thought oh well, everything is technical. It's not really. And these days, I happily admit, life is mostly, there's 98% mindset, what goes on in our minds, how we think, how we let ourselves feel, and 2% what's really out there in the world. Now, 2% technical stuff and systems. Fix your mind. I think that anything is possible. Fix your mind. Relationships they'll come to you. The things you need will be in front of you. The way that we must be becomes clear because we form those relationships. Again, and I'm not talking in a vacuum. I'm really not. So I was thinking a couple of days ago. In business, how far can we go? You as for your charity, how far can you go? But maybe it's a question to you, really, in the sense that are you seeing what others are doing and thinking, yeah, I can do that too.
Never.
Really? So it's like, so where
Well,
do you, so how do you set your goals?
I am a planner,
Mm,
so I set my goals well in advance. Last year, I decided this is what I'm going to do in 2024.
mm,
Of course, at the same time, I'm quite spiritual, and I believe that there's you can have a plan, and things are going to not go according to plan. It's just being able to embrace, okay, if it doesn't work this way, how can I make it work?
mm,
Who can help me, or what can I do? So yeah, it doesn't stop me. But and in terms of my goals, I have books that I use
mm.
and I write things down. It's my question to you, which you can go into if you like straight after. But that question I asked: how many mountains have you climbed? Right? When I close my eyes and look back to the first time I spoke in front of hundreds of people, I was on a stage at university, and I was only 20 years old at the time. And I was shaking, my voice was shaking. I had a piece of paper with everything written down, and it was part of my criminal justice module because I did a law degree. And I could hear my voice almost like I was crying because what I had to talk about was really traumatic. I remind myself how I got through that. And that's how I know that no matter how big a challenge may look, I have to face it because I won't allow the fears or whatever comes to my mind as blockages or whatever to prevent. And to your point earlier, if it's not that way, any, it's not challenging enough, I get bored. I thrive in
Mm.
crisis. I thrive in situations that are very complex because I'm creative and my brain operates that way where I can really find solutions that are outside the box. But then where I'm growing, my growth is around how do I then unlock what I do and my mindset and help others on their journey, because we've been talking about like what blocks people. To do a mountain climb for me is no different to what I do as charity work. Galvanizing a community requires patience, and boy is it painful. The judgments, the stuff. I'm not a people pleaser. People may think that. I in fact know that I'm going to be hated because I'm going to be helping solve a problem that not everyone's going to agree with. So your mountain climb, now you've got to close your eyes, one of you. Maybe start with you, Lolly. Give any a bit more time to think. What's that one mountain climb that comes to your mind, Lolly?
I remember my driving lessons. I passed my driving test on my seventh time. And it wasn't because I couldn't drive. Fair. Every time, that I went up for my test, I just went to pieces, and then that's it. And the only way that I could pass my driving test was literally climb that mountain, which was buying a car without passing my test and actually drive it. And so I drive around the block a couple of times and just practicing. Because then I was on my own. I didn't have a driving instructor next to me. And then I become quite confident just going around. Every night I'd go around the block and come back and practice and practice and practice. And my commitment was then I have to pass my driving test. And so on my seventh time, I passed my driving test. So it's really understanding that you have to find what works for you. I went so many times, six times, and I could keep on failing. And so you have to find what works for you, and take that on board. So that's the biggest mountain for me, I would say. And the next thing was, being a single mother at 17. That's another mountain to climb. You have somebody who depend on you for everything, So, I became very responsible, had to, in terms of understanding that, hey, you're responsible for a life and, take on that kind of responsibility. And so, everything that we do is that whole thing around commitment. Without commitment, nothing happens. And how committed are you to make it happen? That's the question. All your mountains, it's the commitment. As you said, Monwara, you're going to get, people are going to judge you, people are going to say things, people are going to do whatever. But so long you're committed, that's all that matters. Without commitment, nothing happens. You can have the idea, you can think it, you can sit on it, but until you're committed, like this morning, I mean, when Eny said to me yesterday when I spoke to him, I left him a message and he said, well, I'm not a morning person. I said, well, you're going to be a morning person for me, know, so make sure you're on the show. So he said, okay. It's that commitment. And the same with you, Monwara, it's that commitment, I mean, at 8 o'clock this morning, I think it was, you sent me a message. Is everything okay? Is your Wi-Fi working? Is everything? It's that commitment. It's making sure that whatever we're up to, we deliver at the level that says, yeah, I'm up to something big. And the other thing to remember is if you're playing a game and it's so small, if it's not stretching you, that got you thinking, if you're not scared, then why would you? I mean, I had this idea to run this retreat in Jamaica. I have no idea what I was doing. And the sheer fact to have 8 people actually come out, my first one, really tells me, the commitment. It's the commitment. And it was just after COVID. And people were saying, are people going to pay? Are they going to come? I had people from South Africa, I had people from the UK, and I had people from Jamaica. So, with that commitment, people buy into your commitment, not necessarily sometimes, oh, yes, I'm going to do it. It's because of who you are. People buy into you in terms of how you show up. So, when you have this mountain, people will follow you because of your commitment.
Thank you. I'm going to ask you now, Eny, the same question. What mountains can you think of that you climbed?
I tell you, and again, as you were talking about your presentation, journey. That's that. Let me call it that. You brought a shiver to my spine, literally. It's a weird thing to know. Somehow I got through uni. I got through, on my degree, on a master's. Maybe my only enduring memory really is presentation days. Like the way you said it, literally, you have your script written, you have your slides, everything's ready, right? And then come the day, I just used to just fall apart. I don't know. I can't see, I can't remember anything, and just the moments were horrific, truly horrific. I don't think I did a single presentation I was happy with. So see, what that then led to was me saying to myself, I don't do presentation. I don't talk in public. So when I got to my charity, essentially I was an advocate for children in care. I could do my job in meetings. I could speak up for kids in meetings. Of course, I could. I could write great letters, amazing letters. That helps. So now, when it comes to talking in public, so part of the job was putting kids on stage to talk to the decision makers. You know, I don't know. From beginning, I just thought they'll never hear me talk in public because I don't talk in public. I'm far too nervous. So for 15 years, I didn't say a word in public. I just used to get the kids ready and prime them to go and speak to themselves. See, deep down, I could say to you that was a way to help the kids. Of course, it was, but it was more a way to protect myself from facing that nightmare of talking in public. See, that all leads to where I am today. When I say to you every day, I feel like I'm climbing a mountain. I really do, because public speaking is not in my DNA. It's not a thing that I do naturally. People might listen and think, "How weird is that?" Given that I spend my whole day doing events, that I must be. No, but literally every day is, it's a choice I make to get up. It's a choice I make to set up my room with Lorlett next week. It's a choice I make to turn up here today and speak. People would never know because it's my issue, it's not their issue. But literally, I think everyone should give themselves a round of applause for every time you go past what feels comfortable. It's just, I may end the answer to this question by saying, every day in business is a mountain climb. Every single day, whether you sell, whether you don't sell, the fact that you got through today, should be celebrated. Because you easily could not have got through today. Literally, that's health wise. That's also, the people that you connected with. I see people like Freya in the audience. Right? I don't know what I'm saying. Literally, she says it's a constant learning curve. It really is. All of you here could be doing something else. You could be asleep. But you're here, again, for the rest of your day, you choose how you spend your day, right? For anyone in business, we know that it's as much a blessing as a mountain. Every day is a journey. Every day is do I, don't I? I love that thing about life. That you can choose to you say yes or no. 98% would just say no and tuck up in bed. 2% we're here. That should be celebrated. So, we have to learn to celebrate ourselves for each of each. That's a success. I said again. I think each time we put ourselves out there to the world. Each time that we say, right, I'm not just gonna do what's easy. I'm gonna do what's right and what's big. Like you can easily say next year, no, I want to raise £5,000. Then that you can do that within reason, right? It's gonna be hard, but at least it's doable. Say you want to raise 50K, that means doing way beyond what you've done before. That's how you move yourself forward. For all of us, we have to acknowledge every time that we are brave enough to set that sort of goal for ourselves. To set our mountain. That's worthy of success. That's worthy of applause. That's worthy of celebrating. And each time that we overcome that mountain, so we need to see it as it's no, we want to celebrate. I don't think we celebrate enough. I think that's probably my point. We're very good at saying, I want to do this. Okay, do I do it? Don't I do it? If we don't do it, oh, I'm terrible. Well, we actually do it. We don't sit there and say, right, I have moved myself. I have become something else.
Wonderful.
I think that in the world of mindset, I think that now, you're a mountain climber. I don't say that lightly. I say that because now you've become the thing that you want to that you do, right? You're not just a lady climbing mountains. You're actually a mountain climber. When
Wonderful.
we learn to make ourselves that thing that we want to be in life, that thing, whatever it is. So whatever the ones who help people, the ones who create whatever, right? Becoming that thing is what life's all about, really. So that takes all of us.
Hugely inspiring. Thank you, Eny and Lorlett. Hugely inspiring. Both your examples. I hope that the listeners are taking a lot away. Your examples of the challenge that you put yourself under every single day. Eny, for someone who hates public speaking, we feel privileged and honored, don't we, Lorlett? And then, Lorlett, your example of the driving test and the retreat. It's just amazing. But that's how we as leaders face our own challenges. And that's how we want to, with our clients, the people we work with, if we cannot lead by example, we cannot encourage others to do what we, can do. I'm a fundraiser, Eny, and my background, my 50,000 is quite a small target. So last year, I raised £500,000 for my charity, and the £50,000 is the biggest target I've ever set for the international charitable work. But like you say, you are who you say you are, and your actions, I think, is something Lorlett. I'm going to pass over to Lorlett because she says it very well.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, how you show up is how people treat you. If you're somebody who always show up on time, always deliver, we teach people how to treat us according to how we show up all the time. People will follow you because, oh yeah, Monwara, she's always on time, she delivers. Eny's always on time, he delivers. And who you surround yourself with is absolutely important. You know, I've got two friends here, Monwara and Eny. We work together. And it's that whole thing around surround yourself with people who are up to big things. And you will get the results because their energy rub off you. If you're with people who I can't do, I'm not able to, then you produce the results you're very mediocre. And so it's about understanding who you surround yourself with is absolutely important because when you see people doing, you get inspired to actually do yourself, or you see people who probably stay away from you because they themselves are frightened. You show them where they're actually standing still, and so they're not going to come with you. Don't matter how much you ask them, don't matter how much you see the potential, they won't come. They won't come because they're not ready. Be with people who wants to do. I'm on Enny's shirt tail, holding on to him all the time. Come on, Enny. Same as Monwara. Yes, climb that mountain, climb that mountain, climb that mountain, because it inspires me to do the things I want to do. I'm a leadership coach, and to me, everything is around leadership. Everything. How you lead yourself enable you how you lead other people. And it's about understanding that. And I just like to acknowledge all the people on the call. We're having a lot of comments, and I really appreciate that because you're actually participating with us. And you could be anywhere, as Any said, but you are up to big things. You have big visions. And so you put yourself in a room to hear and to keep yourself motivated because you could be anywhere today. And for me, it's understanding what it takes in order to run a business. Money is the last thing I say to people. Yes, you have to do all the work beforehand before the money end up in your bank account. And when it gets into your bank account, then that's an asset. But it's the beginning, which is the connection, which is the relationship. And then during those relationships, you see possibilities that's the future you're inventing for yourself. And then you start looking at those opportunities to say, okay, right, I understand these opportunities are there. And then you're able to take the action that you actually want. So it's a process in order to get the money into your bank account. You know?
Thank you. And thank you so much as well, Lorlett. The whole acknowledgement. That's the bit I go too fast and just missed somebody's comments. There's lots of comments. I see a little great niece of mine also putting a lot of comments. She is probably one of my other stalkers. But it's and your point, Lorlett, those, and I think Annie, you mentioned as well, the people around you as well, they are there to see us succeed. Not knowing who's around us and thinking that we can do it on our own often prevents us from moving forward.
I think it's a delusion that we can do everything by ourselves. I think having others around us, we have to learn to tap into what's around us. And they say, together, as I said, together, you can go far, right? You want to go fast, go alone. Yeah, that's true. We said anyone who's been there knows that that's how it really works. But then speed doesn't rarely wins the race. Speed is good in a way, but getting there in the end is what really counts. Getting there in the right way with the right people, with the right, almost being the right person. Being the person that the best you can be to be there to get there. I think maybe one of the answers to your question earlier, which mountains do we climb every day? I think this thing about loving ourselves. That's I would say from what I've seen from people I talk to, people that even I work with, loving yourself is probably the biggest mountain that people struggle with, and they don't even know they struggle with that. I think I say that because I think it's so subtle, But when we truly love ourselves, I mean, yes, I do wake up and kiss myself, literally. I truly love me, right? I really do. Yeah, right. You see, I made a note to love myself truly every day, right?
Yes.
That's in front of me. I love myself. That's what a believer, doer, So literally, I think we have to truly love ourselves because we're very good at saying, "Oh, I didn't do that. I can't do that." But we're not very good at celebrating our successes. And lots of everything like climbing. You don't climb a mountain unless you truly love yourself. It sounds crazy, but unless you truly think, I can, I'm capable, I can do this, you wouldn't even bother starting. So I think that a lot of people, it's the same as in business. A lot of people do things, they don't realize that they need to truly love themselves, to do what they're trying to do. Even I mean, so every day, if you don't love yourself in business, the implications are huge. You can't love anyone else. You can't form those connections because your business self-hating. Your business thinking negative things. Whereas when you truly love yourself, I mean, you're open to everything that the world can give you. When you see someone you can be friends with, you're like, yeah, of course. And I want to form friendships with people. When you see potential partners, you think, right, I bring something to the table. I bring something that we can benefit from, that humanity everyone can gain from, right? But a lot of people just don't have that level of love for themselves. It frustrates me after time. But what can I do? All we can do is carry on telling them, sharing our story, sharing our experiences. Hopefully, people will learn from us. And then actually, they're truly. I think when you love yourself at the right level, you know, and I say all this because I've had to learn to love myself. Really, I said no. When I haven't loved myself is when you don't do what's right for you. When you don't look after your health. When you don't look after your wealth. When you don't think of your family. You don't. So this is why I'm making a point. It's so important. Truly get to love yourself, and then see where the world takes you. You can't
And
love others until you really love you. Start there. You know.
no,
Brilliant.
I love the way you picked up on this inner, our ability and our need to be led internally. For a long time when I was younger, and I think it's a cultural barrier. I don't know if you had similar experiences, but loving yourself and appreciating who you are, and then in the same breath, I would say trusting yourself has to all come from a lot of inner work. We have to delve into our past and we have to remind ourselves of the time where you couldn't trust anybody. Who did you trust? Yourself. And you didn't feel loved. So if you've gone through that process where, and people are dealing with it even now, where you don't feel loved, you need to love yourself in order to feel love from other people. And I tell you, when people start doubting me, that is my ammunition. And somebody actually put a comment about what works and what helps. And I am sharing because I hope that others will take that same approach. Where I feel triggered, where I may feel in a situation I'm not valued, I remind myself what my values are. I remind myself of what it is about me that I appreciate. But to get to that point, you have to embrace uncomfortability and vulnerability because you
Mm,
have to get to know yourself and trust that people won't get to know you. Just like it's taken me and Lorlett to get to know each other, it's taken long. The journey is long. Relationship building doesn't happen overnight. That's when things go wrong. If you trust very quickly and something somebody said, you can only go at the pace of trust. So our
mm,
journey is very much limited on the pace of trust.
mm,
If I found that I can trust or somebody trusts me, we can move mountains overnight, like Lola and myself, right?
mm, mm,
But where it takes longer, it takes longer to climb those mountains. And somebody asked this wonderful question around how do you, I think it's, where was it? How do you, if you are not inspiring or if it's one sided, how do you get out of your circle to find the right people around you? Investment. And now I'm becoming business like. Excuse me, ladies and gents. But you do need to invest. I have a coach and I have a mentor.
That's
I have had
that's any
uh,
story.
yeah, yeah. Over to you, Lorlett. The power of coaching and mentoring. Go on.
Yeah, that's any story. Every event that we run, he talks about it. You have to invest in you. You got to invest. You know, I've gone all over the world. I spend 10,000. I spend as much as just to be in the room with the right people. Because sometimes, just be by yourself is not going to get you to where you need to get to. And sometimes you have to pay money to go through those doors. I've been in the room with Obama, and I'm not name dropping and whatever else, but it's the reality. If you want to find out where the movers and shakers are, it takes money to get in there in those rooms. You have to pay those money. I fly to New York just to be at some power summit because the people who are around you is not going to take you to where you need to get to. If you want to get the information, that's going to take you to where you need to get to, or even make the connection with the right people in those rooms. You got to pay. Go pay the money to go there, and those tickets aren't cheap. You could pay £3,000, you could pay £4,000 to be in a room. But being in that room, you might meet one person that will take you to where you want to get to. So you got to invest.
I truly believe, I really believe you do. I mean, you mentioned names there, Lorlett. I think that for most of us, we just think these are extraordinary humans. That they're others. It's not for us. It's for that they can do that. Not me. Obama could be the president if he wants. It's not me, right? I think it's only when you meet them, when you interact with them, you realize, damn, they're just humans like you and me. They really are just humans. They're humans. They really are just like us. I think when the more we see those people, of course, for some we're those people. We are just humans, same as you. Just we're on a journey that we started. Sooner or again, give or take, whether we start before you or the same time as you or after you, right? But I think for me, seeing other people, and just interacting with people, connecting with people on a deep level. When you realize they're just humans, it's what truly moves us forward. It's how you can broaden your horizon. And I tell you why I say that. I think for me in life, the question I always ask myself is, why not me? Why not you,
Mm,
Eny? Why not you? Why not you?
mm,
I can never
mm.
answer. I can never answer well enough. Why not me? Why not me to make £1 million a year in my business? Really, why not me? Right. So to bring it back to the question, for a long time, when I started a business, I had big ambitions. I think we all have on paper a business plan. Those who create one, this plan to be rich and famous, within months, right? But as soon as your plan's written, you realize you're kidding yourself. you know, because all your everything you wrote down is out of date already anyway, right? It literally is going. It's not going to happen. Only because day one didn't happen the way you thought it was going to happen, right? Then they all come flooding in, begging you for your autograph and for your bank account to pay you, right? So it's like, oh, damn, I got that wrong, right? That's when you go towards the coaches like Lorlett mentioned earlier. But I think so once you realize the best laid plans are not going to work, then I think for my journey essentially, I tried. I got a business coach. I joined networks. This is all part of the process, right? You meet other people. Local businesses. I joined the BNIs of this world. I love BNI for whatever. That's a networking group with people that you meet every single week. At 5 o'clock in the half 5 in the morning. And some of you do business with. Some do business with you. So it works both ways, right? And so then you realize, okay, there's other people like me who are actually making it. We can kill ourselves like as we do very easily. Maybe it's because I'm black, maybe it's because I'm a woman, maybe because I'm not white. It's not. It's a delusion, right? I say that for a reason. It's, I think progressively you get to meet more people in different countries, different places, and you realize, wow, I thought I've got it hard, but there's people who are really climbing mountains every day. Every day, and every moment is climbing a mountain. Really, it's such a great metaphor for life. Really, I truly think it is. And then no, but some of those people you meet, you'll be like, wow, you know, they're doing it. They really are doing it. It can be done. Like, I remember someone I spoke to, a good friend of mine. I still like him. He said to me, Eddie, you know what? You can never make money from marketing. Never enough anyway. I'm like, Felix, what do you mean? He goes, you have to do something else. I'm like, that's disappointing, isn't it? It's like a dream crusher where you truly, you're like, wow, what am I going to do now? Also all my dreams frittered away in that second. I let that seep into my head, really. Where I thought to myself, I remember sitting there one day, I was like, okay, Dan, I'll settle for just me being in survival mode. Each day I survive is a good thing, right? So I'll just settle for that. I wouldn't employ anyone because I can't employ people. I can't find the right people to employ. It's just too much hassle. So I'll stay small until eventually I die away. And that was the plan up until 2 years ago. When suddenly I found the power of mindset. And I realized that this is just in my head. This is I've taken this conclusion for myself. It's not how life really is. I can dream big. I can create those mountains. I can climb all of them. I remember that, and someone I met on LinkedIn. One of my events, someone called Steve Kidd. It's a normal man, right? He does marketing. Steve, let's meet. Why not? He does books. I do books. He does marketing. I do marketing. Let's talk, right? Because this is not going to be what I'm trying to sell to you, trying to sell to me. So I met him. I'm like, how do you get £100,000 a year client? He goes, no, it's easily doable. I'm like, really? How do you do it? He goes, just do what you do really well, and your mindset will, literally power of mindset, and just being very good at what you do. When the customers come along, you scale up your business, and you get more contractors to do the work. Well, when the customers go, as long as you deliver, they'll stay longer anyway. When they go, you scale back down to where you were and carry on doing that until get to where you want to be. It's more the point that someone told me how they do it. I suddenly saw that if someone is doing it, back to my where I started off from, why not you, Eny? Why not you? If you can do it, why not you? Right. That's the journey I'm on. Literally, and that's the power of looking at others and learning from others who've been there, who are doing it.
Excellent.
You realize you read now. We all can. Greatness awaits all of us. If only we truly believe it and love ourselves enough to do the right things for ourselves to get there. Yeah.
Brilliant. That's the power of connection. Connect with yourself before you connect with anyone. And, when you are clear about who you are and love yourself enough and believe enough, then everybody else will believe in you.
Oh.
But it starts from you. And, this is what today's session is about. It's connect. Connect with yourself first, and then other people will connect with you. Monwara, you got anything else you'd like to add before we wrap up?
No, I think we finished on a really good, powerful note.
Yeah, I
Great.
thank you both for the
Well,
chance to
look
come
forward
and
to
speak.
seeing you all again next. Of course, I appreciate you being here. Added value all the time, Appreciate you for who you are and the work that you're actually doing. Now I see why they call you the godfather of live events. For somebody who don't like speaking, hate speaking, don't like presentation, you're definitely climbing your mountain every day. And I would just say to you, keep on keeping on and, touching lives and improving lives, because when you speak, you make a difference. Get that. So I'd like to say to you, thank you for accepting the invitation. You could be busy doing anything anywhere else, but you choose to be here. And I value you because, you're busy and you take time out to be with us on the show. I don't take that for granted. Monwara, thank you for having the vision to do the LinkedIn Live and, inviting me along. I'm learning so much myself, keeping me focused, keeping me on my feet, and recognize that, you can't do it alone. And sometimes you could wake up thinking, oh my God, what do I do today? But just having people in your life that are up to big thing, climbing mountain, is making me feel, oh, well, if she can climb mountain, what else can I do? And as Eny said, what about me? Why not me? Why not me to have that seven figure? Why not me? And I'm leaving all of you participants today to actually say, why not me? And I hope we'll see you again next week. Thank you all for being here. And anything you want to add, Monwara? Or we're gonna one, two, three, and out.
Thank you very much, Eny. So appreciate you for everything.
You're full of grace. Again, I'm humbled. Like when I walked in here, I was humbled again. And I said, "No, thank you both for giving me the chance to speak. Thanks for always sharing your genius. It matters, right?
Absolutely.
It does matter. It really does." And I said, "No, if we don't do it, who's going to do it?" Lorlett, you say you're the one that does the connections. You're the one that brings us all together. And so I'm always grateful to be your friend and to work with you, to just to impact more people. So nothing I do is by myself. Everything I do is without friends like you, I would be a much less impactful person. That's the truth. So every chance we get to speak, every chance we get to influence people, I think we have to embrace it. So for that, I'm grateful for this chance to speak on this platform.
Thank you.
I've
Thank
made a new
you.
friend as well today, so I'm all right with that.
See you all next week. And yeah,
Have an
great.
amazing weekend.
Indeed. Have a good one, everyone. Thank you so much, ladies. You're
Thank you.
stars.